Next day, Adana returned to the restaurant. She carefully watched Ayajumara cook. She saw the ingredients and how Ayajumara stirred the pot. Adana memorized everything. But when she got home, the same thing happened. She couldn't remember anything.
Lina's Campfire Folktales.
Once upon a time, in a peaceful village, there was a famous cook named Ayajumara. She had a small restaurant, but it was always full because her food was the best in the village. Men from all over came to eat, and they loved her food so much that they stopped eating their wives' meals. This made the village women very angry. Their husbands no longer appreciated their cooking. The women gathered one evening to discuss a plan. "We must find out Ayajumara's secret recipe," said a woman named Ijeoma. "No," another woman, Chinyu, argued. "We should close down her restaurant. As long as she's still cooking, our husbands will never eat at home again." After much argument, they agreed with Ijeoma's plan to send a spy to work at Ayajumara's restaurant. But who? Ayajumara knew all the village women and wouldn't hire them. Then Masoma, one of the women, said, "My niece, Adana, just moved to this village. No one knows her. She can work as a plate washer and secretly learn the recipe." The women cheered. It was a perfect plan. The next morning, Adana went to Ayajumara's restaurant and asked for a job. Ayajumara looked at her and smiled. "You seem like a good girl. I will hire you," she said. But before Adana could enter the kitchen, Ayajumara gave her a warning. "You must always enter my kitchen with your back. Never walk in with your front. If you do, you will regret it." Adana thought this was strange, but she nodded and went to work. She spent all day washing plates and returned home exhausted. Her aunt Masoma eagerly asked, "So, what is her secret recipe?" Adana frowned. I don't remember anything." Masoma gasped. "Are you hiding something?" "No, auntie. I truly don't remember." Something was very strange. Why couldn't Adana remember anything? The next day, Adana returned to the restaurant. She carefully watched Ayajumara cook. She saw the ingredients and how Ayajumara stirred the pot. Adana memorized everything. But when she got home, the same thing happened. She couldn't remember anything. Masoma was furious. "Are you working with that woman?" "No, auntie. I know I saw everything, but now my mind is empty." The women of the village became even more suspicious. Then one day, Mama Toby, a village woman, stormed into the restaurant in anger. "My husband says he wants to marry Ayajumara," she shouted. Other women joined in shouting, "She has stolen our husbands." But Ayajumara stayed calm. "I have done nothing wrong," she said, smiling. Adana, however, watched closely. Ayajumara didn't look scared at all. It was as if she knew a secret that no one else did. That night, Adana made a bold decision. She waited until Ayajumara left the kitchen. Instead of entering backward as instructed, she walked in with her front. What she saw made her heart stop. There were red stains all over the kitchen. It looked like blood. Before Adana could react, Ayajumara entered the kitchen. Adana quickly hid behind a shelf and watched. Ayajumara pulled out a blood-stained cloth from under her dress. She dipped it into the pot of food and stirred while chanting something under her breath. Adana gasped. Ayajumara was cooking with her own menstrual blood. Now, everything made sense. The reason the men couldn't resist her food was because of her evil magic. And when people entered the kitchen with their backs, her spell made them forget everything. Adana knew she was in great danger. If Ayajumara found out she had seen everything, what would happen? She quickly pretended as if she saw nothing and finished her work. But inside, she was terrified. That night, as Adana was about to leave, she heard an evil laugh behind her. She turned and saw Ayajumara holding a small bag. Before Adana could run, Ayajumara blew a white powder into her face. Everything went black. When Adana woke up, she was in a dark, locked room. "Help! Somebody help me!" she screamed. A weak voice answered from the corner. "You're the new plate washer, aren't you?" Adana turned and saw a thin, tired girl sitting in the shadows. "Who are you?" Adana asked. "My name is Bizi. I was the last plate washer. Ayajumara locked me here because I saw her secret." Adana's heart pounded. "How long have you been here?" "A long time. She feeds me once a day with enchanted food to make me forget everything. But I stopped eating it. I pretend to eat and throw it away." Adana felt a cold shiver down her spine. If she didn't escape, she would be trapped forever. Adana and Bizi waited until Ayajumara left her house. They pushed against the door, but a strong force pushed them back. Then Adana remembered something. Her late father had once told her, "If you are ever in trouble, call my name 3 times, and I will help you." Desperate, she whispered, "Papa, Papa, Papa." Suddenly, a strong wind blew through the room. The charm weakened. Adana and Bizi pushed hard and the door flew open. They ran straight to Masoma's house and told her everything. The next morning, all the village women gathered and stormed Ayajumara's house. Ayajumara tried to escape, but the villagers caught her. She was brought before the elders and, with no way to hide, she confessed everything. "I used my blood to enchant the food," she said. "I wanted all the men to love me and forget their wives. I was jealous of happy families because I lost my husband years ago." The elders were furious. "Because of your wickedness, you are banished from this village forever." And with that, Ayajumara was chased away, never to be seen again. After Ayajumara was gone, the men returned to their wives and apologized. They realized that no food was more special than the one made with love. The women forgave them, and the village was happy once again. And so, peace returned to the village. The lesson in this story is that greed can lead one to do so much evil. We should learn to always be contented with what we have and never get involved in evil practices, as it always backfires. Always be appreciative of the people God puts in your life, because the grass is not always greener on the other side. I hope you enjoyed the story. Kindly like and subscribe for more interesting stories. Thank you so much, and I don't take your support for granted.